Hi kindergartners, it's Miss Want here to do a read aloud with you today. Today we're going to read the book, The Most Magnificent Thing. And as always, before we get started, we're going to answer a question, talk about a word that we need to know for this book, and do some noticings and wonderings. So let's start with our question. The question today is, when is a time that you persevered? And we know from our charter that persevere means to keep going even when it feels hard. You can pause the video and turn to someone close to you. Tell them about a time that you persevered. Great. The word that we need to know for this book is magnificent. It's here in the title, The Most Magnificent Thing. Let's snap it together. Magnificent. Let's clap it. Magnificent. Let's tap it. Magnificent. And let's always count it. Magnificent. How many syllables in that word? 4 syllables in that word. Magnificent means amazing or wonderful or fabulous. That will be an important word in this book. Before we get started, let's notice and wonder on the cover. Take a second. You can talk about the things you notice, the things you see, and the things you wonder, the things you want to know about what's going to happen in this story. I notice a couple things. I notice there's a character here. They're carrying some pieces of paper, and they have this wagon full of materials. That makes me have a question. I wonder what this person is going to do with all of these materials. I also noticed that there's a dog on the cover, and I noticed that the dog has a little tool in their mouth. That makes me wonder, is that dog going to help the human? I know a couple things about this character's identity. I know that this character identifies as a girl. Her race identity is not totally clear to me because she hasn't told me, but she presents as white because I noticed that her melanin is not very busy and her hair is very light as well. I know that her age identity is a kid. All right, let's get started. The Most Magnificent Thing. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. I know this is going to be a wonderful or amazing or fabulous thing that she's going to make. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. And all she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. The author didn't tell me that the dog is the assistant, but the illustrator's making me think that the dog is the assistant because it looks like the girl is interviewing the dog for the position. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. Oh, the author told me gives it another go. That makes me think that she's going to try again, and that makes me think that she's persevering. That even though it didn't work the first time, she's going to try again. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. I'm noticing again, she's persevering again, and I know that because the author said she decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds antenna. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Here are all of her attempts. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. I notice she's feeling in the red. I know mad is a red feeling. It's high energy and it's unpleasant. I wonder what she's gonna do. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work and her brain is too full of all the not right things. That makes sense because we know that she's in a high energy state. Her brain is moving really fast. If only the thing would just work. Crunch. The author didn't tell me explicitly, but the illustrator is showing me that she smushed her thumb between two materials. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. I can tell she's feeling really unpleasant because she's now hurt and she's frustrated that she couldn't get her magnificent thing to look right. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first. And I noticed that the illustrator is showing me this line and it makes me think I should look at this picture and then this picture and then this picture and then this picture and then this picture. I'm noticing that her face is changing as we go to the last picture. But before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing that she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. That afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. I wonder what it is. The pair take a good, long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it is just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. The end. Our good reader question today is, how did that girl move from the unpleasant to the pleasant? I remember on this page, the author and the illustrator told me that the girl got really mad. I also am guessing that she was feeling frustrated. How did she get from that unpleasant feeling back to the pleasant? You can pause this video and talk to someone close to you. she did a couple things, but one of the things that I know helped her is that she went on a walk, and while she went on the walk, she started to feel better. And I know that because the author said, it's not much help at first, but before long, she starts to feel different. And that makes me know that while she's on the walk, things change and she starts to feel differently. Great. Today, we are going to focus on a retell skill, retelling the story. And we're going to do that with some words that might help us. So this says somebody wanted, but so then. So in this part, we're going to say who the character is, what they wanted, what the problem was, how they solved the problem, and how the story ended. We're going to do some of that together, and some of that you can do by yourself. So the first question is somebody. Who is the main character? The main character was the girl. I actually don't think I ever learned her name, so I'm just going to write the girl. The is a sight word, T-H-E, girl. You can slide that with me, G-Earl. Okay, so the somebody, the main character, was the girl. What did that girl want? This part says wanted. What did she want? Take a second and think, what is it that she wanted? Oh yeah, she wanted to build the thing in her brain. So I'm gonna say to build the thing in her brain. To build, build the, oh that's a sight word, T-H-E, thing, ing, in, it's a sight word, I-N, to build the thing in her, that's also a sight word, H-E-R, to build the thing in her brain. Read that, slide that with me, brain, okay. You can read it with me. It says to build the thing in her brain. Okay, so now I have two parts. The girl wanted to build the thing in her brain. The next word is but. It means she wanted to build it, but something happened. A problem happened. So you're going to write what the problem was. So means how it got solved. So what did she do to solve the problem? There was a problem, so she did something to solve the problem. Then, and this is where you write how the story ended. What happened right at the end of the story, okay? I'm gonna leave this for you. You can copy this or you can just pause the video and look at the paper on the video. And your job today is to write what the problem was, the solution was, and how the story ended. We would love to see your work when you are finished. Thanks for reading with me today.